This episode is different. I'm not going to teach today. I'm going not going to I'm going to testify. There is a difference. Teaching is what you know, and testimony is what you lived. And what I'm about to tell you, I lived every single word of it. Where it all started, I did not end up in a cell by accident. There was a road that led me there. And looking back, I can see every turn I took, every decision and every compromise, every moment, I chose the wrong thing because the right thing was not available to me. Or at least that is what I told myself. The truth is, I was lost long before I was locked up. Lost in my thinking, lost in my identity, lost in the idea that I had to survive by any means necessary. No one handed me what I needed to stand. And so I built myself out of whatever I was available, and what was available was not good. When it happened, part of me was not even surprised. Something in me had been waiting for the walls to close in. That is what happens when you are running. You do not know what you are running from, but you know that the thing chasing you is real. The handcuffs went on, the system took over, and I became a number. That is what incarceration does first. It takes your name, gives you a number, and it takes your clothes and gives you a uniform. It takes your choices and replaces them with a schedule, and you sit in that cell and you start to wonder if this is all you ever were. And I need to be honest with you right now because there is someone listening to this who needs to hear that they are not the only one. There came a point in that cell where I did not want to be here anymore. Not just in a prison, not here, period. And I wanted to die. I thought about how to do it. I had thought about when. I had got to a place where ending it felt like the only door left open. The shame was too heavy. The future looked like nothing. The people I had hurt, I could not face them. And in that place, in that darkness, the enemy whispered that the world would be better off. That is a lie straight from the pit of hell. But I believed it. And I want you to know so that if you're believing that right now, you need to know that I understand. I need you to stay with me because what happened next changed everything. I do not know exactly how to explain what happened. I have been trying to explain it for 45 years. In a moment when I was at the bottom, when I had made up my mind that something interrupted a presence, not a voice exactly, not my vision exactly, and knowing that I was not alone in that cell, that somebody had walked in there with me. That cell door might have been locked from the outside, but something had come through it anyway. And with that presence came one thought: not yet. Just that, not yet. Like a hand on the shoulder of a man about to step off the ledge, gentle, firm, unmistakable. I call it an angel. I still call it an angel because I have no better word for what God sent into that cell. What changed? I did not get saved that night. That came later. But something shifted. The darkness did not lift completely, but there was a crack in it. And light, even a little light, is enough to keep a man alive. I started to pay attention differently. I started to notice that I was still here. That every morning I woke up, a decision somebody made for me, not me, someone else, and that someone else, and that somebody had a reason. A new heart I will give you, and a new spirit I will put within you. And I will take away that stony heart of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. That is not a verse about church membership. This is a verse about surgery. God does not renovate, He replaces. And sometimes the operating table is a prison cell. Sometimes it's the worst night of your life. Sometimes it's a moment when you're ready to give up that God steps in and says, "Not yet. I'm not finished with you." When I walked out in 1981, I was not the same man who walked in. I did not have it all figured out. I did not have a plan. I did not have the resources or support system or church waiting for me. What I had was a knowing that something had happened in that cell, that I had been kept alive on a purpose, and that was the rest of my life was not mine to waste. 45 years later, I'm still standing on that knowing. If you are in that cell right now, physically or otherwise, you know you are at the bottom. I need you to hear this. The fact that you are still breathing is not an accident. The fact that you found this podcast, this episode, this moment, that is not random. God is still in the business of sending messengers into cells, into darkness, into the exact moment when a man is about to give up, and the message is the same one I received. Not yet. You are not finished. The chain stops with you. And to the pastor, the elder, the church leader listening, the man in your congregation that has been in a cell did not just survive incarceration, he survived the darkest night of his life. And he met something in there that most of your seminary professors never encountered. He carries a testimony that your pulpit needs. Do not manage him. Do not monitor him. Just receive him. Because of what God did in that cell, he did it for your congregation too. The cell that changed everything, not because of what I did and not because of what was done to me, but because God refused to let me go. He sent a messenger into cell block C, into the darkest night of my life I've ever lived. And that messenger said 2 words, "Not yet." I am Benjamin Spencer, and this is the Empty Cell Project podcast. And if God did it for me, he will do it for you.